and illegally abducted by the Ugandan military forces, disrespected, mistreated, incarcerated, and later imprisoned in her own nation, which she had served with total commitment, passion, and excellency and integrity. As I go to make the statement, I leave you with that in your mind to really meditate and think and wonder what sort of a country our nation is, if it can do that. And now, permit me to read the official statement. Members of the press, fellow Ugandans here at home, and wherever you may be around the world. I wish first of all thank God for his love, favor, and faithfulness to me. Because of my experience, I have proved his promises which he gave me, one in Jeremiah 50, the book of Jeremiah 15:21, where he told me, and he has always told me, that they will fight me, but he will deliver me from the hands of the wicked and redeem me from the grasp of the cruel. Praise the Lord, that has been fulfilled. And Psalms 25 verse 3, he says, no one who trusts in the Lord will be put to shame. But the Lord will put to shame those who are treacherous without cause. I give God all the glory. These two promises I have stood on. I have seen him fulfill them. And by the way, he can do it for all of you who trust in him. Ladies and gentlemen, on 24th June 2026, suspected security operatives invaded my home in the Ruzira suburb of Kampala on a mission to arrest me. This triggered a series of events that led to my arrest on 28th June 2026. While this was a sad and traumatizing period for me and my family, I am humbled by the outpouring expressions of support from friends, comrades, acquaintances, and all people of goodwill here in Uganda and around the world. I therefore take opportunity to thank the people who stood with me and my family nationally, regionally, and internationally during this trying moment. I was overjoyed to find very many people from all the nations at court waiting for me. You can't imagine the joy that I had. Because can you imagine, I didn't know I was even going. You know, they would pick me, close my eyes, and I go. I find myself at the court, and what did I see? Very amazed by all people who were there. I was comforted by the love of these wonderful people for coming out and camping at the court for the full 2 days. So, I wish also to thank them and thank all my lawyers from the Law Society, the Legal Fraternity, my sureties, colleagues from the civil society, particularly the women's movement and the youth who composed for my release. God bless you. And the two youth who composed songs, I wish I could get that song. Do you have it? When I heard that song, I broke down and cried. Miria Matembe, mumulikure mama wafe. Thank you, you young people. May God bless you. May God bless you. May God bless all of you abundantly. It is now 49 days since Ugandan security operatives invaded my home located in the Ruzira suburb of Kampala. Accounts from our gatekeeper indicated that these operatives, mainly in plain clothes, some of them hooded, jumped over the gate of our residence, entered into our house, including our most sacred place in our house, our bedroom. My husband, Mr. Miria Matembe, senior citizen, 81 years old, who was at home, was shocked and terrified and horrified by the military terrorist-style invasion of our home. The conduct we have always attributed to that. So the conduct we have always attributed to that of the past bad regimes the country had thought had overcome. By the amazing plan and mercy of God, I was not at home at the time of the invasion. For 5 days, I was forced to live outside my home, hiding away from these actions that many Ugandans have endured. After seeing what other leaders, like my friend Honorable Yasuru Kwagu, and others, what they've gone through, I keep imagining what would have happened to me had these rogue regime operatives found me at my home. And of course, you know I fight for gender equality, gender-based violence. You can imagine what would have happened to me. I think these sharks were ready maybe to jump onto this old citizen and rape her. But praise the Lord. My God is faithful. My angels will always keep me. I keep imagining that. You imagine that, you Ugandans, what these people are doing. That I was not at home at that time is God's providence. I therefore glorify him for his mercy and favor upon my life. I have already said, you invade my gate and you see what my angels will do to you. God had already, plotted the strategy and the plans of the wicked. And he had already rescued me, saved me. You can imagine, my God. At my age, I have lived through all Ugandan's post-independence history, including the crisis of the 1960s, Amin's reign of terror, the NRA insurgency of the first half of 1980s, and now 40 years of President Museveni's presidency. For most of these years, I have dedicated my entire life and career to serving my country committedly. My entire work in the government and civil society was dedicated to fighting for gender equality and especially the rights of women and the girl child. During the work of the Uganda Constitutional Commission, I traversed the whole country speaking to Ugandans of all walks of life, and I got to know the heart of Ugandans and how they wanted to be governed. The people cherished their dignity and respect for human rights. We brought their voices and their cries for protection of human rights and human dignity into the 1995 Constitution. I served in government as minister, knowing that I was helping my brother, President Museveni, fulfill the aspirations of those men and women who sacrificed their time, some of them their lives, to ensure the people of Uganda were free from tyranny, oppression, and human rights abuses. So, on that evening of 30th June, I was bewildered when in Uganda versus Matembe, a charge of sectarianism was read against me. Can you imagine? Person who fights for fairness, justice, and everything, who she's charged with sectarianism. And by the way, for the last 20 years, I have not held any office. How do you do sectarianism? I don't understand. At least if you have an office and you are employing people and you sectarianize, I don't know whether that word exists. But it was amazing. I looked at the multitude of Ugandans there sitting, senior men and women citizens, younger men and women, professionals and business women, and men that had abandoned their chores to come and stand in solidarity with me. I looked at the young magistrate before whom I appeared. May God immensely bless her. And I felt proud because I knew she was standing on the shoulders of the countless women who tirelessly fought for the education of the girl child. As she read the charges against me, I could not stop being bewildered by the irony of the moment. Imagine the charges. Instead of Uganda, imagine the charges. Uganda versus Matembe. Shouldn't this have been Uganda honors Matembe? Can you believe it? The international community honors Matembe and Uganda charges Matembe. Shame! Shame to this nation. Shame. How did we degenerate to a point where we have a government that abducts not only citizens, but also its senior citizens who have committed, served, and have rested? What is this? You wait a minute, as if that was not enough. Outside the court, I saw a lead car. Wait a minute. I, Miria Matembe, had a lead car leading me to prison for imprisonment. Can you imagine? For all the service I rendered to my country and beyond, this lead car should have been leading me to be in the office of the vice president or prime minister, or even to be a president myself. Why not? But can you imagine? It is leading me to prison, and I slept in prison as a prisoner, but I don't regret. Let me tell you, people who are listening to me, for who read the Bible, for Joseph to be elevated in Egypt for a higher position, he had to sleep in the prison. You wait. You will see what God can do for such things. Now here I was, a law-abiding citizen, being led to prison by agents of people who want to only break our laws and abuse our constitution. After weeks of careful reflection, I knew that I had a duty, a constitutional and civic responsibility to share with you, my fellow Ugandans, and the peace-loving people around the world, how I ended up at Miria Magistrates Court that evening, and eventually into prison as a prisoner of conscience. At about midday on the 28th of June 2026, it was Sunday, I saw a tall man, a tall dark man, Munyankore man, who had appeared in the videos of Lukwago abduction on the doorsteps of what had become my temporary home for the days I was. The one who invaded my home in Portugal, he said, yes, I'm the one. So he was the one, he's the invader. Taken to a place I believe is run by military. I was stabbed for near to death. I of course, being a prayer warrior, I stuck to my prayer because I knew my God would rescue me the same way he rescued the biblical Daniel of Babylon from the lion's den. And indeed he did. And indeed on the third day is very important. That is when Jesus rose from the dead. In the morning, he was standing up and saying, God, you the God I trust, you the God who has kept me all this time. I feel like I'm dying, collapsing of this anger. Yes. Won't you get me out of there? And thank God in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, my God delivered me out of that grave. Indeed, on the third day, I was told to dress up. I was dumped at the Ginger Road Regional CID office at about 3 p.m. The bad vehicle and the poor roads, of course, and the hunger broke my. Remember, my back had I got disc degeneration during and all this time down on my knees. Can you imagine a senior citizen of this age being treated like this. So, so today, I see young men and women who are being turned into monsters to be used to kidnap, torture, harass, and in some cases, kill innocent Ugandans. By the way, my driver was tortured. He was taken there. He also spent 2 days there. He was grabbed of his money, also spent 2 days there. He was grabbed of his money, which I had given him to pay school fees. His wife was tortured and beaten, and but all this happened. All those happened. I can't imagine the trauma that the children of this tall man who came for me and had commanded the abduction of Elias Lukwago and perhaps led other operations against innocent people could be going through. Because I know he too is a human and knows that he is being used like those who operated in dungeons of Nakasero during a mean reign terror of time. I feel for the men and women of Uganda police whose police stations are becoming the dumping grounds for Ugandans who are being harassed by these cowardly men in the military. The regional CID office where I was dumped by those security operatives is across Ginger Road police station that had refused to register my husband's complaint about the invasion of his home by military and by disappearance of his wife. When he went there, they said, go away. That is higher for us. He had been at military. No, go away. And when he reached that Ginger Road and they said, go to Kampala, he said, no, I see no hope. I see no faith in this. The man was very traumatized. I want to thank the people from the women's movement who really kept him. And I have a friend who even left her home and she said, I must sleep in this home and keep this senior citizen man. Honestly, a country, Rwanda, we hear they have elderly representatives in parliament. You can imagine, none of them has approached us, say, senior citizen, sorry about this. Now I want to ask fellow countrymen and women, anyone who knows Miria Matembe knows me as a fighter for equality, justice, and fairness, with particular emphasis on women and girl children. You have seen the awards, international awards I'm receiving. The Ugandans are very many. This is because I have been national and internationally recognized, including being amongst the 100 women heroines of the world. Therefore, to re-echo the words of one of the African's iconic figures, leader, the late Nelson Mandela, I want to say, me, Miria Matembe, I have dedicated my entire life to the struggle for gender equality, respect for human rights and human dignity, democracy, and justice for all. This is an ideal which I'm committed to live for and ensure that it is achieved when I'm still alive. But if it needs, it is an ideal for which I'm prepared to die for. I'm compelled to share with you, fellow Ugandans, and the international community what is happening in our country, and to assure you that this situation is not permanent. Like we overcame Amin's regime of terror and the insurgency of the early 80s and the whatever in 60s, and like the people of eastern and northern Uganda overcame the violent rebellions that consumed most of these regions for more than a decade, Ugandans are a resilient people that will overcome adversity no matter the odds. Again, like Nelson Mandela said, the invincibility of our cause and the certainty of our final victory are the impenetrable armor of those who consistently uphold their faith in God, in freedom and justice in spite of the political one persecution. I had the honor of serving as the one of the 20. I was also, hey, wait a minute. Yes, I thought I had said. I was also the only member out of the 21 commissioners that joined the Constituent Assembly as a delegate, where I served as a member of the Legal and Drafting Committee. The Legal and Drafting Committee is the one which put the last of this constitution which was promulgated. Imagine, I'm privileged to have been at the beginning, at the drafting level, at the debating level, and at the conclusion level. I am telling you, I cannot abandon. Others may have died, others may be there, but God who chose me to be central to that constitution cannot abandon me as we fight to make sure that it will work. During this process, I traversed the whole country and came to know men, students, farmers, fishermen in my blood and in the rhythm of everything I do and say. The aspirations of those Ugandans are stated unequivocally in the preamble of the Constitution. The people of we, the people of Uganda, recalling our history, which has been characterized by political and constitutional instability, recognizing our struggles against the forces of tyranny, oppression, and exploitation, committed to building a better future by establishing a socio-economic and political order through a popular and durable national constitution based on principles of unity, peace, equality, democracy, freedom, social justice, and progress. Those are the principles which governed the Constitution. Each of these words are written with profound meaning and purpose. And when President Museveni signed off on this Constitution, we knew we had opened the vaults of opportunity for every Ugandan to thrive. Fellow Ugandans, that's why I can't remain silent amid this constitutional abuse and gross violation of human rights.